On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Straddle.
To sit or stand with one leg on either side of something or someone. To adopt a position or attitude that involves a compromise or combination of two or more opposing principles, ideas, or interests.
Examples:
Straddle a fence. Straddle a motorcycle. We had to straddle the fallen tree to cross the river.
Repulsive.
Causing strong dislike or disgust, offensive, unpleasant, or grotesque, resisting or rejecting contact or influence.
Examples:
Repulsive smell. Repulsive act. The politician's rhetoric was so repulsive that many people refused to vote for him.
Dismal.
Depressing or dreary, causing or showing unhappiness or despair.
Examples:
Dismal failure. Dismal performance. The weather was so dismal that we decided to stay indoors all day.
Swamp.
An area of low-lying land that is flooded or saturated with water, often having a growth of natural vegetation.
Examples:
Muddy swamp. Swamp tour. The lowland swamp was full of dangerous animals and poisonous plants.
Deem.
To consider or decide something in a particular way.
Examples:
Deem socially responsible. Deem wrong or inappropriate. Regarding earthquakes, some commercial buildings were deemed unsafe.
Uninhabitable.
Not suitable or safe for people to live in, lacking the necessary conditions for human habitation.
Examples:
Uninhabitable conditions. Uninhabitable apartment. The hurricane left many coastal areas uninhabitable for a long time.
Spotty.
Characterized by irregular or uneven distribution or coverage of or relating to temporary blemishes or discolorations on the skin, inconsistent or unreliable in quality or performance.
Examples:
Spotty record. Spotty history. The spotty internet connection made it difficult to work from home without interruptions.
Archaeology.
The branch of anthropology that studies prehistoric people and their cultures.
Examples:
The Institute of Archaeology. Prehistoric archaeology. She teaches archaeology at the local university.
Foray.
A sudden or brief attack or incursion, a venture into something unfamiliar or challenging.
Examples:
Make a quick foray. Foray into politics. The company made a foray into the Chinese market.
Penetrate.
To pass into or through something, often by overcoming resistance.
Examples:
Penetrate a cell. Penetrate quickly into the skin. Western ideology slowly penetrates through the Eastern countries.
Thorny.
Full of or covered with thorns, prickly, of a problem, difficult to deal with.
Examples:
The thorny path of life. Thorny problem. The rose bush had thorny branches.
Thicket.
A dense group of trees, shrubs, or other plants, often forming an impenetrable barrier, a tangle or cluster of something that obstructs or impedes progress or movement.
Examples:
Dense thicket. Thicket of bushes. The hikers had to cut through the thicket to descend the mountain.
Wade.
To walk through water that is not deep enough to swim in, to struggle or proceed slowly and laboriously through something, such as a difficult situation or a crowd of people.
Examples:
Wade down a street. Wade through paperwork. I had to wade through the knee-deep water to get to the other side of the river.
Sinkhole.
A depression or hollow in the ground, often caused by the collapse of the surface layer after a cave or other underground space has been formed, a natural or human-made hole whose edges are formed by layers of soft rock or soil that have been eroded away.
Examples:
Urban sinkhole. Sinkhole formation. The homeowner's insurance didn't cover the damage caused by the sinkhole on their property.
Rev.
A measure of the rate at which an engine or motor rotates, often expressed in revolutions per minute, RPM, verb, to increase the number of rotations per minute.
Examples:
Low rev engine. Rev up the crowd. He stepped on the gas pedal, and the engine released a loud rev.
Bury.
To place a dead body in the ground, grave, or tomb.
Examples:
Bury in the earth. Bury emotion. There is plenty of space to bury everyone.
Palisade.
A fence or wall, often made of wooden stakes or poles, used for defense or protection of a particular area or property. A line of defense or fortification made of wooden or other material stakes or poles.
Examples:
Palisade fence. Wooden palisade. The enemy army breached the fort's palisade during the battle.
Excavate.
To dig or remove earth, rocks, or other materials from the ground or a site, often to uncover or discover something.
Examples:
Excavate a deep hole. Excavate soil. The archaeologists excavated the ruins of an ancient city buried under the desert sands.
Artifact.
A person-made object, especially one of historical or cultural interest.
Examples:
Paleolithic artifacts, Peruvian artifacts. The museum has a vast collection of Greek artifacts.
Weaponry.
A collection of weapons, example, guns, knives, bombs, missiles, etc., used or owned by a particular individual, group, military, or country.
Examples:
Weaponry development, advanced weaponry. The army used various weaponry to defend the country from attack.
Inhabit.
To live in a specific location, to reside.
Examples:
Inhabit a cave. Inhabit the stomach. I have no idea what sort of folks inhabit the neighborhood.
Swampland.
An area of low-lying land that is typically saturated with water and has an abundance of vegetation, especially trees, that make travel or agriculture difficult.
Examples:
Swampland habitat, tropical swampland. The developer had to drain the swampland before building the new community.
Colonize.
To establish a colony in or on a specific place, to settle or occupy in large numbers.
Examples:
Colonize planets. Colonize for cultivation. European powers colonized much of the Americas in the 16th and 17th centuries.
Maroon.
A deep reddish-brown color that is similar to the color of dried blood.
Examples:
Maroon color. Deep maroon. She wore a maroon dress to the formal event.
Self-sufficient.
Able to provide for one's own needs without assistance from others.
Examples:
Self-sufficient economy. Self-sufficient renewable energy. He was determined to become self-sufficient and not rely on anyone else.
Decompose.
To break down or cause to break down over time into simpler substances or elements.
Examples:
Decompose matter. Decompose into simpler molecules. After the earthquake, many of the buildings in the city were left in ruins and began to decompose.
Encroach.
To advance beyond the usual or acceptable limit gradually and often without being noticed, to infringe upon someone's territory, rights, privacy, etc.
Examples:
Encroach on the realm. Encroach on the habitat of the animal. You have no right to encroach on my leisure time.
Enslave.
To make someone a slave, to deprive someone of their freedom of choice or action.
Examples:
Enslave poor peasants. Enslave indigenous people. Her beauty enslaved me completely.
Disperse.
To spread out or distribute over a broad region, or to cause something to do so.
Examples:
Disperse false information. Disperse the protesters. Before authorities dispersed the protesters, they yelled slogans.
Abolish.
To do away with completely, to put an end to.
Examples:
Abolish slavery. Abolish censorship. The government voted to abolish the outdated law.
Sect.
A group of people who follow a particular religious or philosophical belief system, especially one that is regarded as outside the norm or mainstream.
Examples:
Sect beliefs. Secret sect. The minority sect believed in a set of unconventional religious practices.
Hospitable.
Friendly and generous to visitors or guests.
Examples:
Hospitable environment. A hospitable welcome. He is a good-natured and hospitable man.
Self-reliant.
Able to rely on oneself or one's abilities, not needing or depending on others for support or guidance.
Examples:
Self-reliant person. Self-reliant community. After moving to a new city, she became more self-reliant and learned to navigate the streets independently.